Hello, and today we're going to be looking at food miles. So, food miles are the total number of miles that your food has travelled from where it has grown till it gets onto your plate, and that is often referred to as farm to fork. So, for us living in Scotland, we don't get particularly good weather. We always get kind of rainy, wet days. So, a lot of tropical fruits and things that require a lot of sunlight and warm weather to grow, we cannot provide here in the UK. So, we have to import them from all over the world. So the longer that foods have to travel, the more food miles that they would get. So if you're buying local ingredients like carrots from a farm in Scotland versus importing watermelons from another country, then they are going to have more food miles than those that we can get accessible here. So there is a short video that I'm just going to show you. Okay. So here are some disadvantages of food miles. Now, foods that have travelled further are going to be less fresh, and that would cause them to lose things like vitamins throughout travelling. So the fresher the food that you can get, the more nutritional value that they are going to have. Another one is that lots of fuel is used which produces carbon dioxide, which is going to contribute to damaging the ozone layer of our planet. So if we are buying local foods, then we are less likely to be damaging the environment. And this is maybe something that someone who is environmentally cautious would try to avoid, is to buy foods from further away, so foods with high food miles. Foods being imported can also have an increased cost to the consumer due to the fact that fuel costs a lot of money. So someone who is perhaps on a low or limited budget is going to avoid buying foods that have been imported, as they are maybe more likely to be out of their budget. Advantages include how we can have a greater choice of foods all year round. So in Scotland, we grow lovely strawberries and raspberries during the summer months, kind of start end of May, June. We can grow strawberries and raspberries. We get lots of rainfall, but that is also a good thing because it really puts lots of good nutrients into the soil, which allows us to grow crops under the ground like potatoes and carrots and onions, but also allows for us to get things like strawberries and raspberries and little plants during the summer months. However, we don't get them at Christmas time because it's far too cold. So by importing foods, it allows consumers to have a much more choice of foods whenever they want. Concerns for the environment might influence consumers to buy more locally produced. So again, if you are an environmentally cautious person, you are more likely to choose local foods as there is less carbon emissions being emitted when we are buying locally. So here is an example question. Now this is I've got a 10-minute timer here for you to do this, but just to chat through this just now, we know that every exam style question tells us three things. Thing one is the command word here, which is evaluate. In your head, ding, 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 when you hear the word evaluate, you know you need a fact, an opinion, and a consequence. The second thing is the mark allocation. So here we've got number 3 because we should have 3 fact, opinion, consequences in order to gain all the marks for this question. And the last thing is what we should be referring to in our answer. So this question is on food miles, but we must always be referring to consumer food choice in our answers. So we need a fact, which is all of these suitable notes that you've just taken here. These are all facts. And then we're going to decide whether that's good or bad, suitable or unsuitable, and then giving it a consequence related to how that's going to impact consumer food choice. So I've got 3 perfect answers here that would give us our 3 marks. When food is imported, consumers have a greater choice of foods all year round. For example, getting strawberries and raspberries at Christmas time. Fact. Our opinion is food miles can be good for consumers as they are able to choose and buy out of season produce for recipes they need all year round. Another example, the food being imported can have an increased cost due to the consumer having to account for the cost of fuel as well. So food miles can be bad as consumers on a limited budget may not be able to buy them or afford them, so they would avoid buying them. And lastly, the food being imported can produce lots of fuel, which produces carbon dioxide, which is adding to global warming. So food miles can be bad for consumers, as ethical consumers who are environmentally aware would avoid buying imported products as they have damaged the environment. So in every single one of these answers, I have given a fact about food miles. I have also related it back to mentioning the consumers by giving my opinion, whether it's good or bad for them. And in my consequence, I have said how that would affect their food choice. Are they going to buy it or are they not going to buy it? How is that going to affect their food choice? Are they buying it or are they not? And that is us.